Hello, my babies. How are we doing tonight? Welcome to another wonderful episode here on Spiritual Tea Time with Reverend Payshence here on Indigo Psychics TV, sponsored by Indigo Psychics, which I am proud to be a spiritual advisor and teacher and consultant for. Tonight, my guest will be our spiritual advisor and spiritual life coach for ladies, Miranda Wyatt. I'll be having her back on and we'll be talking about embracing the dark energy of the dark goddess and how it's a good thing, not a bad thing, and not something to be scared of. But yeah, as always, a lot of us queens are fashionably late. So until Miss Miranda can join me on this lovely episode, I will be doing readings for the collective. So don't be afraid. Well, meow goddesses. Well, meow to you, Costa Rican vegan. Woohoo! It's almost Puerto Rican Pride Day, Flag Day, June 11th. Wepa! Boricua's in the house. Woohoo! Hello and welcome for Miza. Lena Kennedy, thank you for joining us. Like I said, my guest is going to be fashionably late, so I got my goddess oracle cards, and yeah, for me it's a wepa. I am so proud. I am so glad we, as a people, we have come so far and everything, and we still got a lot of way to go and everything. So keep fighting the good fight, and never be ashamed of who you are, no matter what your ancestry is. I always tell people, be proud of who you are, and like I said, my guest is going to be fashionably late. So I have since we're talking about embracing the energy of the dark goddess, um, like Lilith and Hecate and a few other good ladies and everything around the bend and everything. Um, I have my oracle deck of the goddesses, and I will pull one from there, and then we'll get to tarot and clarify and see what that goddess has to say for us, just to kill some time. And then after that, if we need to, I'll just take questions from y'all. Sound good? Okay. Let's see what goddess wants to talk to us today. Ooh, a bunch of them trying to jump out. Not everybody can talk at once, ladies. What goddess do we need to hear from today? Ooh, wepa! Yamaya. Okay. She says, golden opportunity. Important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. I'll talk about confirmation just for myself on that one. Let's see in depth what Mama has to say. let's see. Huh. Nope, that's not it. Let's get these out. Hold on. Yeah, mi padre as well. I am crowned dos aguas to Oshun and Yamaya, the hermanas. So, but predominantly, Yamaya has been coming out a lot lately for me. I need to take a deep, deep, deep sea bath. Good evening, Miss Lavita. Thank you for joining us and thank you for all your love and support, honey. Ooh, the reason why these doors of opportunity are opening for everybody and such as for myself, justice. Her son Shango is coming through and say kata, 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 and getting you with the machete and the double-headed axe, cutting away all the BS, using the fire to burn away all their foolishness, so the doors can be opened by his brother Eshu. Yep, it's time to rejoice and dwell in this new opportunity because you've been working on the healing of the past. That's why a lot of these doors are opening, because a lot of you, I'm hearing is that from the collective, that the reason why those doors were shut to you is because you were self-sabotaging, because you were refusing to work on the healing of that inner child. And now that you have, things are starting to pop open. Yep, Queen of Swords, you're cutting out the foolishness. No more. No more. Yep. Because you finally realize you have the power within you to make those doors open, to make those things happen. Okay? And sometimes it's quieting the mind and letting the goddess, whether she be Yamaya or in her various forms, the Holy Mother, Big Mama, as I like to call her many times, come and speak to you. Sometimes we're naughty little children and we don't want to listen. Sometimes we need to shut up, quiet our mind, and listen to the mighty wisdom of the Holy Mother. Good evening, Miss June. How is everything down there in Bermuda? I hope everything's treating you well, honey. You right on the tip of that triangle. Mm-hmm. So, let's see. Besides Yamaya, does anyone else? I might as well pop into readings and everything while I'm waiting for my lady. Let's see if there's any other goddesses that need to pop through besides Yamaya. What other goddesses want to speak to us tonight? Mm-hmm. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, let me see here. Oh, girl. Okay. You just gotta love it, because if you're a fellow tarot reader, you know what I'm talking about. Where the cards just jump out, it's like this one, bitch. Oh, I got a handful of them. Yeah, the Egyptian goddess says, "Girl, I can even turn a better light on." All right, so we can see better here. The situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. Confirmation of the Justice card. Coventina, purification. It is time for a cleaning and detoxification of your body and soul. That's the Six of Cups right there, baby. You know, getting rid of the old mindsets and taking better of yourself and everything, and working on releasing what is self-sabotaging, especially what's embedded on us from when we were a child, telling us that, we're not good enough for this or good enough for that and everything, and living the best life here. Kika, hi, baby. Thank you for joining us. Sulis, the bodies of water. Spend time near water, such as a lake, river, or ocean, to recharge your batteries. Another word, just like saying of a yamaya. So if you are landlocked and you can't get to a fresh body or the ocean and everything, sea salt in your bathtub. Juice of 7 limes, 7 cans of coconut milk. Light up your favorite candles and your favorite incense that smells like the ocean, reminds you of the sea and everything. And then put on some ocean sounds with like the 528 frequency. Child, you'd be glad you did. I'm saying for myself what I need to do. It's quiet in Bermuda at the moment. Oh, praise God on that. And Bast says, stay independent. Your independence is a foundation for your strength and success. That's all encompassing. That's what we're talking about tonight, about embracing the power of the goddess and learning to love every essence of your divine femininity within you. So many of us have been, because of where our society has gone, are stuck in our masculine energy. And because of being stuck in our masculine energy, we feel like those little hamsters where we spin, and we're not going anywhere because we're not keeping that balance. We're always having to do for our families, our work, or school, whatever, and everything. And we keep on forgetting ourselves. Keep it coming to mind the tarot card, the Four of Swords. You didn't take that time for yourself. Whether it hurts their feelings or not, don't be afraid to do that for yourself. Okay? Take that time for yourself. All right? Let's see. Whew. Well, while we're waiting and everything, if anyone feels up to it, pop a question in the thing. See what I'll first use the oracle card and then I'll use the tarot to clarify it. If you want, put your question up there in the comments. Don't be afraid. It's a good night to find out what does the goddesses have in store for us. All right, Lenny Kennedy. Thank you, ladies. All right. Will my business be global and mobile? Let's see what goddess has in tune for you. Yeah, it's going to be, honey. Yamaya came up saying golden opportunity. Important doors are opening for you right now. You need to walk through them. And then also, too, Nemetona reminds you to keep the sacred space. Create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. From what I'm getting for this, because you're asking about your business, literally build yourself a little altar dedicated to your business. That, for bringing in prosperity, bringing in high-paying clients, making it global, making a vision board of how you want it to be, from the logo to what type of clients. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. And you will have what you want. So as long as you keep in tune with the divine about your business and everything, you will always be a success, if that makes sense. All right. Miss Kika says, do you feel love for me? Thank you. Oh, I feel love for everybody, honey. Okay. What that is showing me right there, honey, you need to work on the love for yourself. Okay. Because with that type of question and everything, definitely you're searching externally instead of working on learning to love yourself. So remember, we're walking magnets. So you can magnetize to you, like I mentioned about before on this show. One of my favorite things to teach about that, so you can bring in the person you exactly deserved to have as the love of your life. So you're not just getting any F-boy off the street. Okay. Take a piece of paper, write 2 columns. Left column is every person you've been with intimately, from your most recent ex to the very first one. Next to each name, put the positive. Only the positive things. Whether it be something physical, mental, emotional that you fell in love with. Pair of scissors, cut down to 2 columns, split them apart. The exes you fall away from you because we want to banish that connection. Okay, and cut and sever that tie. All right. Put it in a fireproof pot that's safe, and put something on it that you can light it and burn it, and you show gratitude by thanking them for showing you what you did not want and what you truly deserve. And then after that's done burning, you say, I truly deserve to have a life partner who are of these attributes. And you read off all those good attributes, because the reason why they're an X, because they only had a few attributes. All right. Because if they were truly meant to be your true soulmate, twin flame and everything, they would have everything, if that makes sense. So you read off those attributes, then fold it towards you. Like me, I practice hoodoo and conjure. So we put it in the Bible, on the altar, anywhere on your altar, and jewelry box, more or less out of sight, out of mind. But then you got to work on yourself, okay? Because you cannot be waiting for the shoe to drop in every relationship, because then you start self-sabotaging that relationship, and you make that beautiful soul pay for the sins that you have received from the others. Okay, so as only fair that now you call that beautiful soul to you, that you work on yourself so you are in the right place mentally, emotionally, physically. So when they come, you guys can live your best life together. Okay, I hope you understand what I said, Kika. Remiza, what does the goddess have for me tonight? Okay, let's see what goddess needs to pop up for you. Dude, girl, I just had a bunch of them come out. Vesta, she says, deal with the home. Your household situation is improving, either through a move or healthy change in occupants. And that's not always about physical occupants as well. So whatever, cleansing and rearranging and organizing and everything you're doing, keep up the good work and working on your home. Sige says quiet time. Take quiet time alone to rest and meditate and contemplate. You got to work on you, boo. Aina says leap of faith. Take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. Okay? Donna, the high priestess, says you have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. And Eskel, I never say it wrong. It's one of the Mayan goddesses. She's a medicine woman. She says, channel your divine healing power. So get more in tune with Yamaya. Okay? Hold on. I'll be right with you, Miss Miranda. Okay. Let me read for this one last person, and ladies, and then Miss Miranda is here. So after Mel's Divine Creations, I will then pop in my lovely guest, and we will go from there. Okay, Mel wants to hear from you're welcome, from Miza. My pleasure, honey. Mel wants to know, starting out my new business, will it go well for me? What does the goddesses have to say? I'm using my goddess oracle deck. Yes. Abundanita. Prosperity. The universe is pouring abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. So you need to get back into your divine feminine. All right. That's what Spirit is telling you. Okay. Okay. You need to be open and receiving. Instead of go, 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 do. You need to be open and receiving. You need to get into that balance of mind. Okay. And then that's how you're able to have that pour into you. Also, to listen to the subliminals, like here on Indigo Psychics TV, we have playlists. We have ones for businesses to help attract clients, to be prosperous, to be successful. Listen to them while you sleep. You put them where you just hear it. Put the start it on the first one, and just let the hold this display for you. Okay. And you just keep on positive mindset and keep trudging forward, and you will be a success putting in that work. I'm glad to be able to help you. And without further ado, my fellow spiritual advisor here on Indigo Psychics, the lovely lady, Valkyrie herself, Miranda Wyatt. Hey, gorgeous. How are you, baby?
Hey, thanks for waiting. It's been a real crazy week.
Girl, girl, it's okay. Like I said, queens are allowed to be fashionably late. Like I said, while we were
That's
patiently
true.
waiting for you to join us, I used this is the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. Since we're talking about embracing, the dark energy of the goddess, the dark goddess and everything.
Mhm. Is
Um,
that the is that the deck that has the gold around the edges?
yep,
I have that one. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
Good one.
figured I used the Oracle Goddess Oracle deck and everything, for in general, and do some readings while we were waiting for you and stuff. And
Okay.
the main thing is all the mamas that came through, because remember, every goddess is a facet of the Holy Mother. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
the Divine Mom. Okay, and Big Mama and all her different languages and all her cultures right here in this deck. Just by every person,
mm,
I'm just telling you, you need to be open and receiving. More or less, you need to be back into your divine feminine
yeah,
energy. To have that
yes,
love, to have that
yeah.
money, to have that success. You know.
Have anything?
So exactly.
Yeah.
So when a lady comes to you and wants to learn about how to be more into, and learning how to embrace the divine feminine within her and everything, um, what would be like the first step you would help them with?
To quit being hard on yourself, quit locking yourself into ideas or rules. I've got to be this way, I've got to be that way, things have got to be this way, things have got to be that way, and drop assumptions and drop
Mm,
just the way you think things are supposed to be, because you're locking it up by saying, oh, well, it can only go this way. Well, why? That's like when you do a spell and you think it's going to happen a certain way and it doesn't. It happens a different way, but you still got what you wanted. It's just, it was some other way, that you wouldn't have expected. I've had that 1,000 times. It's like, oh, okay, whatever, say la vie, good or bad, it is what it is. So, just to drop being hard on yourself and drop the expectations and the rules, just drop the rules, I would
I,
say.
I agree with that because see that's the problem when we're stuck in our masculine mode and everything. We want to control the how, when, and
Yeah.
where, and
Yeah.
everything. I constantly have to get on my baby sister about that and everything. You know, well, what about this? What about that? Asking me to get, do cart.
Mhm.
I said, girl,
Yeah.
you need to stop right there. I can tell you what's going to happen and everything, but the thing is, just because it says it that way, every time you're at, people don't realize every time that you're asking and every time you're doing, you're influencing the outcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you start blocking yourself because you're
Yeah.
stuck in that, constantly wanting to control. And then
Yeah.
when things don't go exactly your way because of being perfectionist, you start, verbally abusing yourself and
Mhm.
everything. Oh,
Mhm.
I constantly. I mean, I check people like Black Mama does sometimes on the Facebook or the Instagram. It's like, girl, that's that self sabotage talk I talked about. Because first,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll get them, go in the DM and then be nice about it. But I just because my name is Reverend Patience don't mean I got tons of it. Okay, all right. Don't mistake my
Yeah.
kindness for weakness, because I will check you. I
Yeah.
will show
Yeah.
you that teller.
Yeah.
I will not. When I know you have the capacity to live
Mhm.
that delicious life, and you're just stuck in
Yeah.
that rut because you're so
Yeah.
addicted to that negative energy, and you're, oh, pity me, oh, woe is me, because things are not going your way. Now, you're not going to get pity over in this corner, honey.
Yeah. That's no
Ain't
way to live. Yeah.
mm-mm. Ain't going to sugarcoat nothing. Gotharican Beacon says, embrace the dark goddess. Hell yes. Listen to
Yeah.
the clip of her. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Another thing, when you yourself started going through your journey, learning to work and embrace the dark goddess within, what was one of the first major breakthroughs that you had?
Um, that's a hard question to answer because the way I am now is the way I've always been, an asshole. No, I'm playing. Maybe. No, the way I am now is the way I've always been, and it's always brought me a little bit of trouble. It's brought me independence. It's brought me a little bit of jealousy, and it's brought me my own ideas, and my own way of doing things, and it's brought me clarity. And uh, I guess if I have to pick something, I would say, because when you do that, if you're new to it and you start doing it, you're going to realize you're not going to fit in with everybody else, because everybody else is wanting women to do whatever they want and do as they're told, and because that's easier on everybody, and to wear all the different hats, and what everybody needs in that moment, no matter what. You just have to, every 2 minutes you're switching what you're doing for whoever you're doing it for, and you don't know yourself because of that. But because that's more about just fitting in and doing what's needed, meeting all these demands outside of yourself. But if you're going to step into the dark, that your purpose switches entirely, because you're going from being the people pleaser and just giving people what they want, to doing what you need, what you know is necessary, whether they like it or not, and they can take it or leave it. And that would be like, mainly that would be like telling people something they need to hear, like what you were just saying, telling people something they need to hear, whether it's bunnies and kittens or not. And it may not be, but it's got to be said, period. And that's just part of it. The dark goddess is the void, the nothingness, the vacuum, the unknown, the ocean that just goes on forever and ever, and you never know what you're going to find in there. It's all that stuff you're afraid of, that you don't know about, you can't really figure out, and you're too afraid to step in, but you know something's up, but you're still a little bit too afraid to really look into it, because you don't know what you're going to find.
Right.
And that's just too damn bad. That is what it is. And when she pops up and says, "You're screwing up with blah 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 blah," you need to get it together. Period. Because if you keep doing that, you're going to keep screwing yourself. And I don't know if you notice that or what. And the people get mad at people who talk like that, men or women. They get pissed off because they don't want to hear it. But it's
right.
I mean, so it's things like that. But in my case in particular, I would say that I knew I wasn't going to fit in when I was real little. Like, I knew I wasn't going to fit in a lot of ways. But like I say, I grew up in Catholic school, and that was, I'd have to write a book on that experience and what that was like.
I bet you would, girl.
I'd have to write a book, and it'd be that damn thick too. But
I bet it would be.
Yeah, but I got in there, and it didn't make any sense, and it didn't make any sense, and it didn't. We carried on, and we carried on. I thought, oh God, And I just thought, y'all don't have questions about this? Like, you're not wondering? This makes sense to you? And I'm not. I hate to sound, anti-religion, but I'm anti-religion. Like, I suffered so much in it, and all I can think, and all I can think is, damn, y'all aren't even allowed to ask questions. And I would argue with my teachers. I may have told this story before, I can't remember, but I argued with my teachers on paper. Like, we would get the test. I pissed them off so bad. We'd get the test. There'd be a paragraph of a Bible story. And Catholics, P.S., do not study the Bible in school, or they don't. Like, Protestants are real good about being, especially here in the South, it's, that's, if you read John, whatever, and they'll tell you the verse like that. But in school, Catholics don't do that. Maybe some of the old ones, but these younger ones, they don't. But anyway, we would get a test, and there'd be a paragraph on there with a story, and then we'd have to 1, 2, 3 answer the questions. And I would just destroy that, because I would say, well, first of all, number one, I would skip the questions and write my own number one and say, number one, first of all, why did so-and-so blah, 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 and I would just demolish it because I was a jerk. But but I had and then I'd get called up there, Miranda, I need to speak with you. Oh, all right, and I'd go up there, and I would just be like, because I didn't want to hear it. And I would say, well, but don't you wonder, like, how does this make sense to you? How? And they would just crush me, and we would just crush each other. It was real stupid. So long story short, you're going to realize you don't fit in. And if it's in you innately, and you just realize it's going to have to come out, and you're just going to have to live that way because there's no other way you can be, it can be lonely. You can have a small group of people who get you and understand you, and there's men that have this too, and they can live in the dark femme where they tell people they just say things people don't want to hear, or they um, bring clarity to situations where everybody's kind of like dancing around it and is too afraid to say something. Dark femme will
Mhm.
just say it, because it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Somebody's got to. um,
Exactly.
yeah, and the dark femme is here to crush untruths and crush frivolities and nonsense things.
Mhm.
And it's just, it's too bad. But
Exactly. Mama Voodoo from Vegas, the Weird Sisters
mm,
in Vegas, she says groans and hisses, and people cannot handle the truth.
yeah,
Amen to that. That is so true. And the Costa Rican vegan, she says, I knew I was different too, and I was in Catholic school. You know?
it's its own world.
Oh,
Really.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my little happy ass went to Episcopalian, Southern
Yeah.
Baptist, non-denominational, and
Yeah.
Catholic school.
Yeah.
I was a naughty little girl.
You got everything.
Had to
Yeah.
get kicked out.
I had grown up in Catholic school, but I went to a lot of different kinds of churches, and I was baptized like 3 or 4 times in 3 or 4 different places, and it didn't work. But yeah, it's you just it's a can be kind of lonely because you're not going to run into a lot of people except for maybe online where you can really narrow down like who you fuck with, but I mean in person you're gonna have like 3 friends in person, and that's it. But you get used to it, and then um and it
Oh,
takes a lot of courage because you you get a lot of static, from people who just don't want to listen, or they
mhm.
argue with you. And there's some women that like don't want to hear what I have to say, like they'll argue with me a little bit. But there's a lot of men who don't want to hear what I have to say too. And it's when I'm not talking to them is when they like to let me know how they feel the most. Um, but yeah, you get a lot of you get admiration from some people, but you can get just as much, or at least almost as much, hatred or jealousy or fear. All it really is fear. That's why I don't
Mhm.
get mad. Yeah, I don't get mad at people, and I don't sit there, and I try not to anyway. It just like BS back and forth and comments or whatever for 30 minutes. I try not to do that because I'm like, this is stupid. If you're not ready, fine, then just say that. But I'm going to move on with my day because I got people who are listening to me who do care what I have to say and are
Girl,
waiting for me to, yeah,
one thing I've learned about dealing with that, and dealing with people, especially on the social media, I don't, anytime they start, telling me I need to sit down because I'm a woman and with the Bible verses and everything, that shouldn't be teaching
hmm
and it shouldn't be a reverend and all that kind of good stuff.
yeah,
I don't retort. I don't talk to them because of the way I see it. They're a peasant troll with their low vibrations. So we just
yeah,
ban and delete. I
yeah.
remind myself who I am. I'm a queen and I don't have time for that foolishness. Oh, Mama Moon says hello, y'all. She's joined us tonight. Hi, girl. How are you and the babies down there? And then Mama Voodoo says the dark goddess gets a bad rep because people just don't take the time to understand where she's
Mm.
coming from.
Well, they're
Exactly.
afraid. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Because they're afraid to look into the void. I
yeah,
mean, me being the Capricorn with a Scorpion rising, honey, I looked into the void and I winked. And
yeah.
guess
That's right.
the
Yeah,
void winked back, baby. You know, like
yeah.
my wedding. My husband got me a black diamond.
Oh
That's
wow.
a big
Yeah,
thing for me and everything. And people don't realize, especially the more opaque it is, because a lot of people think it's like obsidian that I
it's
have in my
green.
ring, and it's like, no, that's a real black diamond.
Yeah.
That it actually it is the strongest of all the black protection crystals,
Hmm.
but also like the white diamond, it's also for prosperity and also too representing the void.
Yeah.
It's also for a ring of
Yeah.
abundance because everything comes in and out of the void.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
my mom says she just got done exercising. That's another way to get in tune with your divine feminine and everything is
Because with your
doing
body.
that self
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Wanting to do you.
Yeah.
Sometimes learning to be when people say, "Oh, you're being self-centered," sometimes
Not really.
you know exactly. Being self-centered is not always being selfish. It's learning how to be centered in self.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
people don't understand that concept when you're
Yeah.
saying being self-centered and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Uh, Mama Carl says 5 houses in Leo. I drive the bus express, the express bus to the void. Yeah, you do, baby. Yeah, you do. Uh, that's why when dealing with, because like within Asian cultures,
Mm,
feminine energy is dark energy at the end and
mm,
everything, and and since so many people are afraid of it and
mm.
everything, that's like I said. Besides our culture mixing things up, where women are constantly stuck in their, masculine modes of having to do everything, because you know, a lot of us like I totally get it.
Mm,
You want to be a modern and independent woman, but it's nice to have someone who is there,
mm,
who is your equal partner,
mm.
you
Yeah.
know, where, iron, sharpens iron.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
A true alpha will allow you to be the true queen that you need to be in
Yeah.
yourself, and allow you, because for us, I know for me being the alpha female that I am, it is literally mental relaxation
Mm,
to not have to make that decision.
mm.
Let's go out to dinner. Okay. Put your favorite dress on, wear your favorite lipstick. We're going where? Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
we're so having to, be go, 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 do. It's nice to someone else make the decision for a change,
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
you know, and, be able to relax and allow us to be in our feminine divine,
And
you know.
that's all it really is. And I think people, you make a good point there. People really overcomplicate that. And I even told my mom this last night. We were watching something, and I did like a monologue about it. But basically, and a lot of my videos, I do get a lot of hateful comments from men sometimes. But what they don't understand is that I don't hate them. I haven't hated men in like 8 years. So, like, I'm mature. I'm over it. There's no reason to hate them. I don't have any reason to hate them. I've learned enough about myself that I don't need to hate them anymore. And I'm going to do a video on that because it's a good ass topic. I think it needs to be said. But what I was getting at is, if they could, do some of their own soul searching and realize that that the power that they have, the divine masculine they have, the power and the influence that they could have in good ways that would create a better environment for everybody. If they could tap into that and learn how to use that for their advantage and therefore everyone else's, they could create a space that's safe enough energetically for all of us to just do what the fuck we need to do and not, worry so much and not be running on all cylinders. But if they let themselves get distracted with other stuff that's not important, video games, the Pornhub, or whatever the priorities are, if they could make themselves and make elevating to the next level a priority instead, and spiritual elevation of some kind a priority instead, they could become and be and turn into and transform into so much more than
Exactly.
just fooling around on the sofa looking at some video game. And it's like, I don't have anything against video games, it's whatever. To me it's kind of a kid thing, but because I quit doing it when I was like 11 years old. That's why I say that. But I mean,
Mhm.
they're wasting away and they're screwing around doing stupid stuff when they've just got so much more potential, and they're not looking at that. It's just like you're doing this in front of somebody, he's like, hello. And they're
Because we're
just,
still in F boy mode and
yeah,
everything. Because they don't know what it means to be a man. They
yeah,
don't know what it means to be the true alpha. Okay. An F boy is always going to be, it's about their needs and everything,
yeah,
and pushing on the true alpha wants to be a service. Wants to,
and that's
not only of his
yeah,
family, but
yeah.
service to his community, to his brotherhood, and everything else.
And that's
They want to make
masculine,
sure that people are taken care of,
yeah,
provided for, protected,
yeah,
all that stuff, and oh, Mama Voodoo says, don't hate the gender. It's the spirit in that form that is screwing up. And it is
yeah,
true
yeah,
and everything, because some of these ladies are so used to being around the F boys because of what they got inside of them
yeah,
that's magnetizing these dudes.
yeah.
So they think all men are the same, and they get bitter. And then, and I constantly, tell people,
Mm,
I am living proof of that.
mm.
No, they're not all
Yeah,
the
me
same.
too. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. My first three, they were in different body form, but yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Abusive fuck boy. All right. But then I realized what it was in me that I needed to heal and did that shadow work. And now I have a true king,
Yeah.
a true alpha,
Yeah.
a true person who allows me to be the true goddess and
Yeah.
queen and everything. He totally gets it
Yeah.
that I am Miss Independent. I'm a Capricorn. I love my money,
Mm-hmm.
and everything. I love to work and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that I love to help out because in my last relationships, I did all the cooking and the cleaning, all the work, and paid all the bills and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a man who won't let me pay. The only bill I'm allowed to pay is for the groceries.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, I have tried, and he won't let me. And he goes, but one thing I love about him, he even told me when we first met, as long as you feed me the illusion that I'm head of this house, we really know who's in charge. I said, whatever you say, Big Daddy.
But that's what I mean. But see, and you're okay. You've reached a level now where you're perfectly fine with that, with
Right.
the way things are really supposed to be, and therefore you no longer you don't have any reason to fear or hate men because you figured yourself out, and that's such a
Exactly.
huge thing, and people don't
Oh,
realize
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like when the young lady asked before, and I've had on the show many times, and people have contacted me for love readings, and
Mm-hmm.
who do you see coming to me in my love
Yeah.
life, and is there love for me coming?
Mm.
The if you were, that tells me right there,
Yeah.
you don't love yourself.
Yeah.
That's why you're looking for external.
Yeah.
Because if you truly loved yourself, you wouldn't worry about what love is coming toward you because you're going to know. Because the true love that you want, you have with yourself. That unconditional love that you have is with thyself.
And it gets rid of the desperation too, which means you're
Ex-
also not going to be attracting somebody else that's
Mhm,
vibrating on the desperation vibe, because y'all
mhm.
come together and you're both hungry, and you're desperate and you're freaking out. Oh, I got to make sure I got to get this feeling satisfied or whatever, because my mom didn't hug me enough or whatever it was. And it's usually, especially with narcissistic people, like full blown, especially they they can't bond with their mothers. Like their mothers had something wrong with them and they screwed up and they didn't bond with them, and then they grow up, a son or a daughter, they grew up and like, okay, who else is going to fix it? Where do I get that fix? Where do I get that? It's like a drug they're looking for. And I'm like, hang on, you got to, because they don't have any identity because of that. Because
Yep.
the mother not doing her job right really screws it up for everybody else in the world. That's why we have to be able to do our job right. Hence the need for the safe space. It
Mhm.
all comes together. And if that's not there and we can't do what we're supposed to do right, we screw up everybody we push out after that. So, I mean, it's just, say la vie. So, but yeah, that desperation, looking for the next whatever, the next person to do whatever for you. No, you can't, because you're just tying yourself into a cycle. It's just not worth it, And then you'd be 50 years old. You'd be like, well, damn, I wonder how all that happened. Well, we got. I'm not trying to hurt you, but we got to look at you and see like what happened. Because do you think I don't do that with myself? Shit.
Mhm.
Like, I gotta look at myself every day and be like, have I set a good example today or what? Like I gotta do
Right.
it. So
Exactly.
yeah, everybody's gotta do it.
And while you were saying that and everything, I kept on hearing Eddie Murphy's funny version from Saturday Night Live called "Look up with all the more faces, look up
Yeah,
with
yeah.
two."
I love SNL. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
That's what
that's
sucks
funny.
about having all the Claires. Which reminds me, I'm
Yeah.
so excited. I got a new St. Clair statue coming
Mm.
because she was the first Mambo, and also too representing all the clairaudient,
Yeah, yeah,
voyance and all that stuff and everything. I always joke around saying I got all the Claires.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It can be a
yeah.
blessing and curse because being able to especially audiently or sometimes especially when of seeing them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned over the years of who and what I do not want to see. Thank God
Mm-hmm.
I've learned how to close that third eye on that part, but still
Mm-hmm.
listen and hear and
Yeah,
everything. Trust me, it took a long time to really embrace that. And that was part of that was learning to embrace the dark goddess
yeah.
and learning to embrace my psychic abilities and the gifts that I was given to spiritually and not realize, because you try to talk about it as a child growing up, talk about being different. You get them laying hands on you at prayer team at church, at the Pentecostal church and everything. And didn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, Tammy Lynn Johnson, thank you for joining us. She says, "Love you guys."
Yeah. Hey.
Baby girl. And Dr. Risa Vegan says, "Indeed, it is a spirit in the body. I had a BFF and she had a series of bad abusive relationships with men. She began females. The females were no different. The females were just as abusive." Yes, and
Yeah.
it's true. Oh, Queen Cindy from the Honey Bunny and Friends says, "Hey, ladies, thank you for joining us." And Catherine Vegan, you're correct. It is true. It is a spirit that you are drawing to you and
Yeah.
everything. That's like with me, with my first three marriages. It was, three different bodies, but it was the same demon, and it was just getting more escalated and more escalated and more escalated. Like I tell people, the body is just a physical shell. Okay. If they got a soul of an asshole, it's a soul of an asshole. It doesn't matter what's if they got an innie or an outie or their transition or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
She says, "I tried to make her aware of this behavior, but she kept her head in her ass." So, honey, like the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Until people recognize what they need to do with themselves to heal on their shadow work, they're always going to keep on repeating the same abusive relationships, having the same, nasty people in their life, whether it be intimate friendships, from especially growing up around, negative relationships as a child, and because they're, too terrified to go into the void to work on the healing so they can get on that process.
Yeah.
We all deserve to live that delicious life,
Yeah, we do all deserve it.
And the first thing to do is making that step is to learn to embrace, is let go of the how, when, and where, and realize that we are, divinely protected and provided for.
Yeah.
And
not only that, but people are afraid of the void. When I try to tell people, the void is you. It's just a part of you that you have not explored yet. And knowing yourself shouldn't be scary. But we've been taught so many things. And I'm just going to say this. I don't know if I'm going to lose people over this or what, but it's c'est la vie. People, we've been taught to be afraid of things like, for example, the number 666.
Mm-hmm.
That number, I'm not big. I'm like, I notice numbers and stuff, but I don't like gauge my life around it or whatever. But that number, if you look in like, any kind of basic science type thing, we have in our bodies 6 neurons, 6 protons, and 6 electrons.
We have the number of man, and also too as an angel number, because I work in the mental health field, and I work in an adult foster home, and my girls are very, Christian religious. And were on the way to church of that when I was taking them. We pulled in behind a car, and they had the 666 on their license plate, and they started freaking. I said, "No, that is not the devil's number. That is a lie told by the church, y'all. Okay, that's the angel number letting you know you need to stop your damn worrying. Okay, you are
just exactly
off your nose, despite your face and everything. You just need to stop doing trying to control the how, when, and where, and reassess your mindset. That's what it's telling you." "Oh, really?" I said, "Yeah." And then I looked it up on my phone, and my phone automatically read it off. And they were, "Oh, so it's not." No, it is not the devil's number. That is a lie.
Yeah. Well, at least they were open to it. It's nice to see somebody who is actually open to, giving themselves a break and looking at it from a different point of view that's not going to stress them out, Well,
I have worked with these ladies when I used to work at the thrift store and everything, and I just transitioned from being a DSP through working at the thrift store because I didn't want to deal with customer service anymore.
Yeah.
The normies, and I can't bite my tongue when it comes to them anymore. It's no more being Miss Nice. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? But I enjoy being a DSP. I love them because they come from a genuine place, like the innocence of a child, many of them. And so it really was very, serendipitous to find out the house I go to. It's like, I know you ladies. And as soon as they knew it was me coming, normally they allow them to interview, who they get to bring into their house and everything. They didn't even interview me. They were asking, when do I start?
I remember you telling me about that on the phone.
So I was just very excited about that. Tammy Lynn says, my childhood mind bonded with a narcissist father, so my relationships were attracted to we're not going to mention any exes' names. We all know the most recent one. So that's why she, magnetized them to her and everything. And yeah, and you're right.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They look different, but you are attracting that same, entity
Yeah.
to you and everything. And that's why, like when these people who've never been in that type, especially of the really bad abusive relationships with the narcissist, I don't understand. Why don't you just simply leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They got you in such a mental prison.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as you. I went through. It was the final one that was the hardest at first. Was my third one. Took me 10.5 years.
Yeah.
I finally came down off my pedestal of my own ego, humbled myself, and very good friends I knew I could trust helped me do a cut cord and everything. Because this is one freaking karmic that did not want to let go. Gemini with a Scorpion rising and a Cancerian moon born year of the tiger. Okay. It's like literally having a two-headed tiger and everything. Yeah. Especially when he got under the influence of alcohol, crack, and Xanax. His eyes were literally, be black looking like my glasses and everything. I would call it.
They do that, yeah.
Because I knew when it was him, as they would say, and it. It was a big difference between the two. And, and it really, 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 was a blessing. Yeah. And then finally being able to be broken free and doing my healing. And that's why I always encourage my ladies in my, male clients to use your social media as your vision board. Every time you walk into the internet, you're tapping into the spirit realm, man, because we need what? Silver, gold, copper, and quartz crystals in our computer chips. Hello, those are the main 4 keys to open up. If anyone knows alchemy, hello. So every time you tap in, that's why when someone sends you a text on your phone and everything, you can feel that energy if it's positive or negative.
Yeah.
Or
if you're questioning it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I had started doing, I had gone out and cried up to Big Mama and everything. I said, God damn it, I'm a good woman. I'm working on my healing. I deserve to have my true soulmate. I've worked hard. I've done my healing. I know that true spiritual love is real, of a healthy relationship and everything, because I have done so many hand fastings and weddings. I know it's real. And these people are just as happy as they, the day they got married and everything, And I started posting, not realizing I did this until Facebook started doing your memory thing and everything. I posted a picture of Gomez and Morticia and embrace. It says, screw Romeo and Juliet. I want to love like Gomez and Morticia. Okay. And above it, I would write, I want my gothic cowboy version of Gomez. Girl, I did it once a month for almost a year, not realizing I did that. The final time I did it was in May 31st, June 1st of 2014. He sent me a friend request. I accepted, and I started looking through the profiles. He had a picture of himself back when he used to have his long black hair, would pull it back in a ponytail, and he had that thin mustache, like Raul Julia in the movie. Literally had each other's picture. You can't tell the difference between the two of them. One has brown eyes and one has gray eyes. It's the only way you can tell. That's how much he looked like Gomez. Yeah. Okay, that was always one of his nicknames. Yeah. Further down, got pictures of him wearing what? Black cowboy hats. That's cool. Went outside. Big Mama was in her fullest. I said, thank you, Mama.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I mean, granted, we've been through our ups and downs and everything, but we've learned healthy ways of communication, because that learning each other's love language, like he went through his first 3 marriages. I went through my first 3, because we had to learn what we did not want and what we truly deserve and what we, needed and it helped us learn for ourselves. And now we both can say we're married to our best friend.
Yeah.
I finally get that concept that my parents had been trying for years, me being the stubborn Capricorn, not wanting, to understand it and everything. And it's like, you know what? It's true.
Yeah.
It's very true. You
Yeah.
have to learn how your partner communicates, whether it's be through touch, whether it's food, whether it's sight, whatever it is, and everything, how they communicate their feelings and be respectful of that. And they need, vice versa, need to do that for you.
Yeah.
And if you can't have that mutual respect, love, and understanding,
Yeah.
communication you're doing between each other, it's going to be a waste of time. Because
Yeah.
all that communication without understanding, it's going to lead to fighting.
Mhm.
It always does.
It does, yeah.
You
I was
know,
about to say that it always does. Yeah.
girl, woo-wee, time flies when you're having
You
fun.
know it.
You're lucky you were late this time, but next time on the show, you're doing readings with me, girl.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Just remind me. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, any last word that you would like to give about the Dark Goddess?
Oh, let's see. Don't be afraid to discover yourself, because really that's all you're doing. No matter what kind of exploration you're doing, you're just discovering parts of yourself that you didn't, look at before. Have courage and take the leap, and don't be afraid to invest in yourself and invest in your expansion and your learning and your ascension. Just have courage. All it's going to do is you're going to learn something. There is no good or bad. There's no failures. There's no whatever. It's just you're just going to learn, and that's why we're here, is to learn things. We're here to learn how to love each other, how to love ourselves, how to get along with nature, all the rest of it. It's just learning. Just do what you're going to do, but be courageous. And make it count and make it worth it. Because you only you can only set an example, one time for people, and especially if you've got children or somebody who's looking up to you, you don't want them to go through life thinking they can't do something because they saw you, be afraid all the time of going for things, because you'll see that everything that you were afraid of doing, or everything you screwed up or you didn't do right, you might see it in your children when they're 20 or 30 years old, and you don't want that. You don't want to see yourself all over again. Because sometimes I see my son, when I'm he's struggles with math in school, and I was like, oh my God, so far this could be the only thing I don't like that I see, but because I don't want him to be miserable like I was. But it's that kind of thing. You don't want to look at them and be like, oh shit, how do I fix this? You got to fix it in yourself at the same time that you got to fix it in them. So
Exactly.
but I would say bottom line, have courage. Have courage. And if somebody doesn't like it, you know what? They're just not ready. Boo-hoo. It's too bad. Do it
They
anyway.
don't need to be in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's still 8 billion people, even with all the pandemic and bullshit that's been going on in the world. There's still 8 billion beautiful souls. So, like I always say, think about relationships like the lights down there on Bourbon Street. One goes out, there's another one to replace it, baby. Okay?
Yeah.
There's too many beautiful souls. So you don't get along with somebody, next, just raise your vibration higher and move to another multiverse.
And that's the Dark Goddess too. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Love does make the world go around. That's from Miss Levita.
Yeah.
Yep. Actually, you're right, Lena. Just find your people. And if you're magnetizing and vibrating, actually, they'll find you. Your true soul tribe will come to you, because the people in your life is what you're vibrating on the inside. So if you don't like the hosts that are in your life, check why you're vibrating at that level and raise it, baby. Okay? Don't be afraid.
That's right.
All right, everyone? Real quick, let everyone know how to get a hold of you. Besides Indigo Psychics, how else they can get a hold of you for about the memberships and your classes that you have, healing classes, healing from abusive relationships from narcissists.
That's right. Yeah. So I have a lot of stuff going on right now. I have the 12-week program if you really want to do a deep dive with me one-on-one. I have the membership if you want to just like touch base with me once a week, and it would be like a group Zoom meeting with some other ladies who have joined. where you can, ask me questions and stuff like that. And it's just like a continuous thing, it doesn't time out or whatever. And then I have the online self-paced courses. If you don't want to go with me, you just want to like do something I've put together, you just like on your own time, you can do that. And you can just Google me, Miranda White Life Coach. All my stuff comes up. If you go to my website, which is the same thing, MirandaWhiteLifeCoach.com, all my junk is there. My little story, and then you go down, and all my links are there for all my stuff. Yeah, so everything's there. Just explore it. And yes, I'm always working on stuff to try to make sure that I have something for everybody, which is why I started the memberships, because I was like, I have the 12-week thing, and then I have the self-paced courses where you don't really talk to me at all. And I was like, what can I do in between that's like kind of light, So I did the memberships. That seems to be going really well. So we're starting this week with that. If you're late joining the membership, there's no time restrictions or whatever. You just join whatever you want. It's not a big deal. So that's yeah. So that's for somebody who's feeling more laid back about it, But if you want to go one-on-one and do the 12 weeks with me, I'm down. I'm always down. So
Right.
yeah. Well, let's make it happen. So, but anyway, yeah, that's it.
Sounds good. Again, my darling, thank you for joining us on the show. I can't wait to have you back. Real quick, Gotham Vegan says, discover yourself for yourself. The dark goddess is liberating. And indeed she is. Ashe, my sister. And again, everyone, have the most blessed night. Learn to love yourselves, okay? Because if you don't, nobody else is going to, like in the words of RuPaul. Love you guys. Stay blessed.